Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel, and in today's video I'm going to be trying out these Mars Lumograph black pencils, and they are like graphite pencils but with black in them. And I have the set of 6, I have 8B, 4B, 6B, and I'm also going to be trying my new Tombow precision eraser. And just to show you the difference between the Lumograph, it's Lumograph not Lumograph, you need to learn how to spell, Katie, against the Derwent, you can see that the Derwent 4B graphic pencil is really shiny and the Mars Lumograph isn't. So I wanted to give these a go because I've seen a lot of artists use them and a lot of artists say really good things about them, and because I was really surprised at how cheap they are, they were £5.52 from Amazon, I thought it was a good product to try and not give a review because I'm not really very good at giving reviews, but give some first impressions and just try them out really and see if they were any good, because I do want to get better at realism, I want to get better at realistic drawing, but with graphite you do get that horrible shine like I showed you at the beginning there, and you can't always get the deep tones unless you get the really soft lead. So I wanted to give these a go and I was really impressed with them. I think they're very good quality, you can get some really deep tones and the leads don't break very easily. I was surprised at that because sometimes with pencils it can be a little bit of a lottery as to whether they break all the time, and the worst culprit for this is of course Prismacolors. I think many of us can relate to having Prismacolors that you just sharpen down, but these pencils are really good, they're strong and you can get quite a lot of variation in tones with even just the one, to be honest. And I would have liked to have had, rather than 2 4Bs and 2 2Bs, I would have preferred maybe to have a 3B or a 5B as well, but again it doesn't really matter because you can blend out and you can get a variation of tone with them, and I was using the Tombow eraser to blend out because I don't really like using cotton buds, which I know a lot of people use when they're using graphite, they use cotton buds or tissue, but I prefer to use an eraser to blend. I don't know why, I just find it quite easy. So I wanted to do a realistic piece for this because A, I want to practice realism, and B, I thought it would be good to test how much of a contrast you can get. So I got a picture from Pexels, and that's one of my go-to sites for reference images, especially when looking at animals. They have some really nice animal pictures on there, and yeah, they are royalty free, so you don't have to worry about copyright or anything like that, and they are free to use, and they are free to use commercially, let's speak properly. They are free to use commercially, so you don't have to worry about anything like that, for example if you wanted to sell the work, and there's a really good selection of stuff on there, so I do recommend it if you are looking for some good reference images for your own artwork. And I chose a cat, firstly because I love cats, and I don't own a cat. I wish I owned a cat. It makes me sad that I can't have a cat where I live, so I like to fill this void by drawing lots of cat pictures instead. And also because this picture was in black and white and I'm doing a sort of black and white drawing, not quite black and white, but you know what I mean. And the only thing that wasn't in black and white was the eyes, and so I had to change it. I changed it to fully black and white, and this is much easier if you're doing graphite drawings or monotone drawings. It's much easier to work from a black and white image than it is from a colour image. It's much easier to judge the values. So that's a tip for you there. If you are doing a graphite portrait, change your reference image to black and white. So the thing that I wish I had done before starting this piece is to experiment with these pencils and the eraser on a separate piece of paper before diving into a final piece, or a piece that I at least wanted to look good. This is because when I was trying to get the highlights, I realised quite quickly that I'd gone too dark and the eraser didn't really pick up a lot of the black pigment, especially in the 6B and the 8B. And this is to be expected really. I was probably expecting it to be magic and just lift it up and it not be any problem. But this wasn't the case. So for the whiskers, when I tried to use the eraser to draw the whiskers, it didn't really work very well. So I ended up using the white gel pen. And to begin with, this looked really odd because I forgot that the paper that I was using was a cream colour. It's a cream card, just a standard piece of card that I masked out. So the white gel pen looked really odd. So what I ended up doing was using my white Polychromos pencil and kind of blending it into the graphite a little bit and making the cream not cream but white so it would fit with the highlights better. And this did work. It worked out really well actually, and I think it's because of the black pigment in it that it worked well and it did kind of blend nicely. But this is not something I recommend doing. I don't recommend mixing graphite and white pencil, and if I wasn't using the Lumograph pencils I probably wouldn't have done it. I wouldn't have mixed pure graphite with white pencil. That probably would have been a bit disastrous. It probably would have ruined the nib of the pencil. But I guess you could always sharpen it, it wouldn't have been a complete disaster. But because I get far too excited about new art supplies, I don't want to experiment and swatch out and do all of that jazz, because I just want to get into a piece and experiment. And I guess that's okay, that can be good because it means you can be a little bit more creative, you're not restricting, you don't go in thinking I can't do this, I can't do that. But at the same time, it means you can get some results that you're not happy with, or sometimes you can even ruin art supplies. And that's not good. So I am going to try really hard to make it a New Year's resolution to actually swatch new art supplies, and the next art supply that I get, the next new set of art things, whatever it is, I am going to swatch it out first and experiment, probably. So another regret that I have with this piece is that I worked a little bit too small. If you remember from my Smart Tips for Realism, one of my tips and advice would be to make your realistic pieces bigger rather than smaller, because this means you can get the details in, and I really wish I'd taken my own advice on this, because it was difficult to add the texture of the fur, for example. The eyes weren't too bad, the eyes didn't really matter what size it was, but the fur texture and also the tongue was really hard to get the textures on. I didn't just want to leave the texture out, but it was hard to get all the shadows and all the bobbles on it because a cat's tongue is quite textured. So I really regret not doing it bigger. I think the size of the piece is about 15 centimeters by 15 centimeters. So that's pretty small for the kind of detail that I was going for. And I would like to do a bigger piece, probably about A4 size in the future. And if I do any more realistic pieces with these pencils, I'm definitely going to work bigger than this, because I'd like to see how they would do by adding lots of detail rather than just a quick study. Well, not a quick study. It's kind of, this piece is kind of halfway between a quick study and a final piece of realism, I guess. So if you are new to my channel, welcome. My name is Katie. I make art videos. I upload a new video every Thursday. I do a combination of speed paints challenges, advice videos, and I also have a little character called Charlie McNeil. I'll let you go and find him. I'm not going to tell you who he is. If you like this video and you like this channel, go have a look for him. I'm sure you will like him. He is my little mascot. And I am taking part in October this year, so the next video that will go up on this channel, probably next week's video, is going to be an October video. It will be a few days. I'm going to film a few days this week and compile them into a video, and I am putting daily uploads on my Instagram and Twitter feed all about Inktober. I'm doing a picture of Charlie for the official prompt each day, so if you want to see those and you want to see what they are, I will leave links in the description below, and I will also put the odd one on my Patreon first, for Patreon only to see first before I release it to everyone else. So if you want to check that out, there is also a link in the description too. But yeah, if you are new, do feel free to subscribe and have a look around. And I'd like to say again, even though I said it in my last video, that I've recently hit 500 subscribers, and I just want to thank you all for all the support and all the nice comments and all the likes and all the views. And without the audience that I have, I wouldn't be able to make these videos, and I wouldn't be improving at making videos all the time. So thank you so much, and if you like this video, you know, emotionally, please do leave it a like down below, as that really helps me out. And also let me know in the comments below whether you've ever tried the Lumograph pencils and what your impressions are. My impressions are good, but you might have had a different experience to me. And also let me know what your opinion on graphite is. Do you like the shine that graphite leaves, or do you prefer no shine? And what is your experience with graphite? And also let me know how you think I did. I'm always up for feedback, and let me know if there are any products that you would like me to try out. Obviously within reason. I don't have, unfortunately, an endless supply of money to spend on art supplies, but if there are similar products like this, so there are similar things, then let me know in the comments below and I will give them a look. And also let me know if there are any challenges or any videos that you'd like me to do. I am open to suggestions. Just let me know in the comments below and I will try and respond to each and every one of them. So overall, I am really pleased with these pencils, and they are definitely going to go into my art supply box of stuff that I use ever so often. It's not really a box, I just have art supplies all over my art room. It's not really a box. There should be a box because it would be much tidier if there was a box. But anyway, going off topic a bit, I am going to use these again. I think I will do a few more pieces in the future. I will try maybe some more people portraits. I think these will really help in getting values and getting some good contrast. And I do recommend them if you're looking for a good set of graphite pencils. I would recommend these because they are pigmented. The black in them takes away the shine, and I personally prefer this look. It's not necessarily everyone's taste, but I personally prefer it. And they are good quality, well priced, and you can get some really nice results with them. And I'm not sponsored, by the way, these are my honest opinions. I would just genuinely recommend them. So once I had finished, I removed the masking tape. There isn't footage of this because I messed up removing the masking tape and ripped some of the card, but thankfully it didn't rip the drawing. So I ended up trimming around it, and it had a bit of a white border. And once I trimmed around it, I decided to extend a couple of the black whiskers out of the frame to make it a little bit different and make it pop out a little bit. And I really like this effect. I think it worked well. But as you will see, my pencil wasn't very sharp because I'm not very good at sharpening my pencils and keeping my pencils sharp. I'm not really very good at a lot of art practices. I don't have a lot of good habits when it comes to art, really. And it was quite difficult, and they ended up being a little bit thicker than they probably should be. But it's okay, it still looked alright. But please do sharpen your pencils when you're doing realistic drawings and make sure they stay sharp. Don't be lazy like me. So here I am adding the final touches, and you can now see just how blunt this pencil is. I know it's the 8B, but it should be much sharper than that, especially as I'm doing whiskers. This is really quite upsetting to rewatch. I'm very sorry that you have to watch me do this. Please, please don't do what I do and sharpen your pencils. But that is all for today's video, and thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed it. I really had fun using these pencils and trying them out, and I am overall quite pleased with how this turned out despite the things that I've said about it. And yeah, that's all for today's video, and I'll see you next Thursday for an Inktober video. Bye for now! Oh, and I forgot to say that I have put this up on my Redbubble store if you would like prints of it or it on a bag, because I actually like how it turned out and I wanted to update my shop a bit. So anyway, I'm going now. Bye!